Hello, everybody. Welcome to Boston by Night. As the apartment that Arthur usually stays with, which is a similar one that he stays with his sire, Caroline herself, though, has gone out. You saw her, she was puttering around her ghouls, following her like an entourage. She said she needed to go and see Alec for about a few things. You, at first, felt that little twang of jealousy because, well, of course you want to spend more time with Mother as much as you can. After all, she did say you were one of her favourites. But you've consigned yourself with that fact. You do know that she has something on tonight, which you are, of course, invited to. Now, the question is, Arthur, how well do you dress? And what do you dress in?
Yes, well, it will make perfect in character sense for him to show up dressed like a trash bag.
Mm-hmm.
The latest
Perfect.
fashion.
Perfect. Serrated ankles?
In the trash can, not a trash bag, because that would have too many roundness to it. Or he might just go through his wardrobe looking for. God damn it, Eddie. I'm guessing. I mean, this apartment has been used by more people than him before.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just looking to spruce up. Like, he's not a bad dresser in general, Arthur, but he's not a rich man. He's not Dr. Theodore Delarose. So he will be looking for something a lot more expensive, but modern.
Okay, Raz. Okay, Harlow.
We're the high club here. We always were. We always will be.
You find something. It's good. It's not off the racks, as they say, but it's passable. It's nice. Definitely better than what you're wearing. You definitely get that impression, but not the most stunning of stuff, but definitely better than what you're wearing.
Then he shall wear that instead.
You do hear the door open from where you are as you're kind of buttoning up the shirt and awkwardly fitting on the leather jacket.
Sort of, not really thinking somebody has broken in, just sort of leans his head over his shoulder. Hello?
Is that Arthur I hear?
I'm guessing he immediately recognizes the voice here. Yeah, just getting dressed.
Oh, really? You hear the steps, very soft steps, come to where you are.
Dress faster, dress faster, dress faster.
Eventually, you're like scrambling for your clothes, and eventually, you just hear the door just slide open, and again, like a stone statue of just pure, perfect sculpture. You see your brother leaning against the door frame.
Yeah, Arthur manages just to like pull his pants up and then leans towards the nearest wall as well as soon as the door opens. No knocking?
Why knock when we're family? After all, I didn't expect my younger brother to be here. I was looking for our dear mother, but I guess I just missed her.
Just. But I'm sure you can catch her later tonight.
Oh, I'm sure. Besides, she was sending me over to make sure that you looked the part. At least. After all, word has been going around. Making all the most interesting friends, dear brother.
I like interesting people.
Oh, I bet. After all, a shark is often quite interesting company.
Polite, if nothing else.
I wonder, though, will you be like our other brother, chasing an impossible object he'll never quite tame, or like our other brother, hoping that the madness of a cracked mirror will crack the madness in his soul.
Maybe I shall be just me.
A noble endeavor, dear brother.
Somebody's already performing. Seems a bit trite to try and hustle in the.
You reach out and just touch your face as you're talking.
You know, Arthur's almost getting used to this weird ass invasion of privacy that Garnet seems to have. If you, I'm not sure if he even has to roll to, but if you want me to, I can roll to see if he sort of flinches.
Roll me your self-control. Let's see. Do you flinch away?
Yeah. Let's see. This is not his strongest pool. I'll put it gently like that.
You have weak will, don't you?
This isn't any good at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you fail. There is a part of you, though, that wants to stay there. But my God, are you unnerved, but yet consumed by that touch. It's almost as if that touch right now is the most enticing yet terrifying thing you've ever experienced. Probably what makes it more terrifying is the fact that Garnet doesn't blink. It's almost as if he's too perfect to blink.
Arthur takes that second to compose himself. So what
Do
was
I
it
make
you wanted
you?
to talk?
Do I make you nervous, dear brother?
What makes you say that?
You're shaking.
Are you trying to make me nervous?
Do you want to be nervous?
He sort of
Do you
stretches the second up.
Takes a step again, turning almost slowly, as if he's studying you, appraising you. Do you like to be nervous? Does that feeling of fear make you feel alive?
He doesn't answer with words, but his eyes tell us all that needs to be told, really. They're nervous, obviously, unnerved, maybe even a little bit scared, but they're not wavering. And he has
Dear
a
brother,
when Garnet moves forward.
dear brother, so unbecoming of you to be so nervous.
I hate it better than most people think.
True. But then again, as he takes another step into and he smells of figs, of peaches. He smells perfect. But again, he doesn't look human though, does he? In your mind, it's like he's too perfect to be human anymore. But as he leans down, his skin flawless, you just notice that no imperfections are there. And when those green eyes lock on you, it's enticing, yet for you, may entice you in all the world, but my God, there is that part of you that just quakes.
I'm gonna roll willpower here, or is it courage, maybe even?
Roll courage, roll courage, difficulty 8, because you have a flaw.
Have you?
Weak willed.
I just need to get the sheet up. Come on. Yes, we've got. Let's see now. Courage. Oh, actually, I'm not too bad at courage.
Roy Courage, difficulty 8.
2 successes.
You keep yourself composed. Like yes. No. What am I scared of? What do I need to be scared of? And it is then that Garnet will do something for fun, of course, as always. Let me just double check this pool. Come on. It's that many. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely that many. Oh yes. I forgot you had that flaw. Never mind. Rasmus. Well, Arthur.
Oh, please.
It's like he walks over to pick up a drink. And you feel the taste. You feel it tasting his lips. As he hasn't looked at you, but you hear inside your head. Or maybe it's because you're just truly afraid. Afraid that mother will never look at you the same way if she knows how scared you are. Coming from inside your skull.
Yeah.
Inside your skull.
When he hears it inside his skull, he does still whip around towards Garnet, who I'm guessing is not speaking at all or looking at him.
He's just has his back to you as he's casually taking a sip of the wine. Like, you even see him go,
And fear gives way to territorial jealousy to bring up mother like that, to insinuate like that. And Arthur, as much as he can, straightens his back. Why did you come here now?
Again, he just slowly turn his head, looking at you. I told you. Came to see you, dear brother. To make sure you dress the part.
And your verdict?
My verdict. His eyes, again, Arthur, that jealousy is there, yes, but man, do you feel strange looking at him. And your willpower is that. He'll lean forward. And suddenly you just want to just keep looking into his eyes. And just keep staring. As this hum goes across the room, you can even feel it.
He stands transfixed.
Because we all love Mother. And we have to make sure she's happy, don't we?
Always.
And that's why Damien is a problem, isn't he?
Every family has a black sheep.
He makes mother cry, Arthur. Do you like that? That she cries over him?
He narrows his eyes.
There is a part of you, as you're looking into Garnet's emerald green eyes. In fact, no, you don't like it at all. Not at all. How dare Damien do that?
You should know. I don't.
Well then, I do hear that you and Alec are planning to see Damien. Why don't you make sure that Damien remembers who he belongs to in this family and what happens when he upsets Mother so? Why don't you be the protector Mother needs? Think you can do that, Arthur?
Okay.
Very good. I'm glad to see you have the right mind, at least. Who knows, as Garnet steps forward, fixing your collar ever so perfectly. You might even begin to enjoy it.
Like you do.
Maybe. You have to know me better first. His hand just snakes across, and because you have a certain flaw, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes on an appearance subterfuge. You've never felt attracted to a man before, Arthur. You've never felt that connection, but my God, it's like he's too perfect. It's too perfect. Too perfect. And you just, even like Mother, you just want to taste it, but this is different. This isn't Mother's love. This is some carnal desire. This is the thing you cannot look away from, even though every ounce of your fiber tells you to look away from, but you just can't.
And Arthur is basically left stood as a puppet.
And eventually, roll your entrancement.
Yep. Fuck, what is entrancement now again? It's willpower?
Self-control.
Ah, okay. Wonderful.
I'll put this at difficulty 7. You pass. Part of you just almost wants to obsess the way his hair looks, the way his skin touches, the clothes, the eyes, the ears, everything, but you have a job to do. You have to keep Mother happy. Mother is the most important, but as Garnet is walking by the door holding it open for you, as you begin to step into a little sleek black car, you can't just help but stare at him, like a golden god watching you.
He feels. He feels. Unlike most nights, it's almost as if his heart almost started beating again. And he finds himself almost incapacitated, unable to even look out the window of the car.
And the car slides away as the camera pans out, as it begins to pull up. The black sleek car will begin to pull up outside this large theater. But we pan to a different person. Alice.
Yeah.
You have been almost hurriedly whisked, throughout this whole process of hurriedly changing, hurriedly moving. Everything is like, oh God, ooh.
Yeah, we thought it was so cool to blow a little time having fun frolicking around the house. And it didn't get pushed back. Well, fuck me.
Again, Alec is he doesn't seem nervous. I would not say. He just seems more distracted, as he's driving you in a car this time, not in the motorbike.
Well, her hair would not stay put on the bike, sadly. And after, well, let's just say I imagine Alec has surprisingly more hair product in his home than most men do. After all, his hair is fucking fabulous. So.
He doesn't actually. He just has basic shower gel.
Gasp! No hairspray, nothing?
Nope.
Fucking gasp. Well, I don't know what to do with my life anymore. Everything's a lie. No, but still. She will definitely stay put together better, and let's never mind the fact that the dress she's wearing isn't hers. So
It's
But
fabulous,
it's
though.
nice.
Like, my God, it's nice. You know what I mean? You feel kind of like uncomfortable how well this is. Like, you can tell this is stuff from Milan, that type of thing.
this is one of those things where she has put on this dress, and it's not only beautiful, it's comfortable. And that's how you know. That's how you know that this dress costs more than she is worth on the black market. So yes, she is, especially ever since she has gotten this thing on, she has been so careful. So careful not to fuck up the dress. Very mindful now of brushing past things, even the furniture in Alex's apartment, or house, I should say. So yes, she is perched just so in that passenger seat. And very possibly, like, I imagine he has a stick shift, because I can't imagine Alec driving an automatic. So rather than leave her hand on his, she'll just have it resting up on his shoulder as he's driving.
Again, he pulls the car, this kind of sleek rev of a Mustang just kind of revs into a parking lot, and you see this large, expansive theater. You know, it's, whoo, you know what I mean? Like, you've seen it before, probably, in passing in your mortal days. That's the Boston Theater, you know. Only the real rich people go here.
Feelings of inequity intensify.
He'll look over his shoulder. Don't be nervous.
I won't be as long as you're close.
I can't be close all the time.
Well, then I'll try not to drown.
You're the first person I've brought to this that has actually dressed right for the part. So, I'm not doing too badly.
I mean, I didn't have much opportunity to dress wrong, really.
Yes, but the last person refused one of my mother's dresses.
Oh. Oh.
Let's just say Rose and her complications are her complications.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess they would be.
Well,
Shrugs.
Again, we'll just say this happened because you're we'll just say this happened after the whole heaven thing. It just makes it easier in my mind.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of backtrack mentally.
Yeah. And he'll just put his hand on hers. This cold grip. I will have word with her for what she did.
I mean, as long as it doesn't repeat itself until one of us is on the floor, I imagine we're pretty good.
It's a complicated issue, and let's just say it's a complicated situation, but you and I are not.
Well, Ketchum. You know, despite herself and all her, like, no, it's fine, you don't have to. She still shoots him a relieved grin.
Sounds like I'm going to kick you out of the car and throw you on the street.
That'd be a dick move.
Just nods. Rose and I have history. Unfortunately, you got caught in the middle. As he's opening the door for you. Again, comes around and opens the door for you. Again, very gentlemanly.
And yeah, she gets the idea and will sit properly until he's out and around and has opened the door, and then we'll swan out Because let's face it, how many opportunities is she going to get to swan out of a car after someone's opened the door for her and a dress this fancy?
Give me that appearance etiquette, Katie.
Oh God, you don't want to do that.
No, you want to be fancy. Give me that appearance etiquette.
She's, oh boy, this is going to be hilarious. What etiquette? She
Then
is
there's a
not high
plus one.
society.
And it's plus one diff.
Oh boy. Oh, God help me. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You managed it.
She
You probably watched
actually
them.
pulls it off
You-
instead of looking ridiculous.
You've watched enough of these like old-fashioned movies, you know. You know the right turns, the right poses as you like hold up Alex hand. You've seen it thousands of times in those old movies.
To be fair, I mean, Alex got a practiced eye. It's probably pretty clear that this is like, I've seen this in a movie. Like, she's faking it hard, but she's not faking it badly.
He'll slide her up under his arm again, very professionally. Just keep faking it till you can make it.
That is the plan.
Just you look over. This is my mother's world. Don't judge it too harshly. That's all I ask.
There's kind of a corked brow. Because let's face it, they go to some pretty outrageous places. She has to wonder what the fuck is inside that theater that he thinks she's going to judge.
You just start walking, you know, very casually. And Arthur, you pull up with Garnet and you both slide in the back ways because after all, you're the sons. But the both of you enter at the same time and it's this huge gallery. Like huge. You've been in Mother's Theatre before. It's fucking massive. But for both of you, you've ever seen those old time 20s style parties where people are hanging from the ceilings and you know it's old, very old style, but if you look in the right places you can see the subtle hints of, you know, people doing untoward things, but nothing crazy, nothing masquerade breaking, but it's from a different world almost, like you stepped into. It's like you have stepped right back into the 1920s. You can almost even feel it, the cigar smoke, the everything.
What else was he expecting, really?
I'm not gonna lie. Alice actually probably finds it kind of charming. It's strange. It's not what she expected, but it's not bad. It's kind of weirdly classy.
You can like see people dancing in cages, like, you know, the old style movies. You know, very much if you've ever seen Chicago, it's that type of deal.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is she's like recalling movies and such as she's looking around, as opposed to, you know, being born in the time. So yeah, it's just kind of interesting.
You do see small little performances on the theater stage. Like people look like they've dressed up the old style of like Helena of Troy and all that. After you see. You being the more learned and poetry reading would recognize some of the classical literature some of these people are displaying as they're dancing around the place.
He appreciates it. He then cocks a smile, maybe enough to drown out the various feelings that his meeting with Garnet has left him with. So he's more this element.
So,
sorry.
Give me a perception alertness, Arthur, and I'll let you spot Alice. Also, you can do the same if you want to spot Arthur at all. Before I let you two away with your fun.
Okie dokie. That's a perception alertness. Too bad of a roll.
Standard diff?
Yeah, we'll say standard. That'll be nice.
3.
That's okay. I have merits. Still only 2.
So, Arthur, you see it just probably on the side corner of one of the aisles. Like the aisles have almost been separated so people can walk around freely. That's Alec, and that's Alice on the Alec's arm. Alice, you see of course you see Garnet. that beautiful, beautiful sculpted figure striding around, but beside him is Arthur. In a nice enough jacket, something very similar, actually, eerily similar to Alec's style of dress.
She is both pleased and displeased at the same time, because Garnet is very compelling, but this is an Elysium. But he's so compelling. But this is an Elysium. But at the very least, if they manage to catch eyes, she'll flash him a smile. Because, hey, look, that guy she recognizes. That isn't inherently incredibly threatening or dangerous. Always nice.
Arthur flashes a smile towards the people when he sees them. Sort of eyes light up. Not sure if it's because Alec or because of...
You do recognize Alice is in one of Mother's dresses. Which will get your attention, Arthur, just a slight bit.
If possible, can he throw a knowing wink to his brother? His Alec brother, not his other brother.
Oh, but yeah, I was about to say which one. I mean, you can. You can. It depends on whatever you guys want to do. It is up to you guys from now. I'm giving you guys the reins. There are people
if Alec
in
is
here,
actually looking at...
Alex just seems kind of looking around. Like, Alice, you're probably all taken in by everything. Alex just seems to kind of look around like it's almost like, oh God. You know what I mean? It's that type you could just...
Ooh, did he die?
No, what?
Sorry, you got really fuzzy for a second.
Alex just looks bored. You can just read it plain on his face. He's like, oh God, why am I here? You know what I mean?
No, for the moment, Alice will stay on his arm, and if he wants to throw one of whichever brother a wink, he can. She's admittedly, this is all new and shiny, so she flashes him the smile, and then it's like, ooh, what's happening over there? So she can miss it.
So what are you doing, Arthur?
His mother here?
You don't see her, but you can. It's like you can almost feel her. She's somewhere, probably enjoying herself. You're not quite sure, but you know she's here somewhere.
And what is Garnet doing?
Garnet is just lounging very lazily onto one of the aisles, like Dionysus and his cult. As some of the girls fawn over him as he starts chatting. But he looks over at you and just this sly little grin on his face. It's such a devilish smile.
Arthur doesn't reciprocate. Again, conflicted to say the least about his emotions towards his brother. But he decides to walk across, making a bit of a show of himself, make sure he's seen on his way towards Alec and Alice. Feeling good about himself, at least in this environment, in this suit jacket.
You see a few heads turn and look at you. See some seem to nod in appreciation, some girls giggle, and some men just go, hmm.
And then there's Alexander Ashford going, ooh.
Well, yes. Do you say anything as you're walking over to Alec and Alice?
No, he's just going to stand there staring at them.
Planking on the ground.
He goes up to them, opens his mouth, immediately goes into plank mode. Off backwards.
Yeah.
No. He reaches out a hand for Alice first, actually, and it's a courtesy. Maybe because of the environment.
And yeah, I imagine usually the way it goes, she'd probably have her left arm in Alex, so she's able to offer out her right. Still, and again, as he comes closer, her attention, shuttles back over and sticks. But yeah, she'll offer the hand, smiling broadly because, let's face it, She's dressed real nice. This is all the kind of shit she has never seen before.
Yeah. He, fences himself down, kisses the back of her hand. Lovely to see you again. Alec. Turns around.
Arthur? What have you been hiding?
In front of a mirror.
Just shakes his head, smirking.
And where you been hiding?
Been busy doing work. You know how it is. Have to keep this whole place safe after all.
Oh, is he sincere when he says busy with work? Should I roll for that or?
No. You know he's a hound.
Yeah. Well, and we're all grateful for that.
Although I did get asked to come here by. You look over at Alice with that, again, charming little smirk on his face. I could not say no to a beautiful lady, of course.
I wouldn't be able to associate with you if you did.
Well, it was either that or she would not talk to me for a few days. He'll again grin over at Alice again, smirking.
She
So
she pitches him the mock offended look, like I would never,
plus, Mother, if I did not come, Mother would have a fit.
I think she'd be deeply disappointed. Yes.
She gets so excited when her shows are on.
But she's not the only one. I can't wait.
You just turn to Alice. I'll be back in a minute. I need to go see if she's here.
She'll give him a light nod and, slide her arm out from his.
Just gives her a grin. She'll feel the subtle little hand squeeze.
Yeah, and again with that bracing little last shock of cold. Well, pitch him a reassuring smile that, no, I'm totally fine. This is kiddie pool area. This I can handle.
You just see him walk past. He pats Arthur on the shoulder. Again, you feel that ice cold touch of his. It's almost jarring. It's like, ugh,
Yeah. So she sort of shakes it off once Alec has left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as it.
You just see him walking ahead with his hands in his pockets down towards the aisle, past a few people.
Yeah, for what it's worth, Alice has seemed entirely, I don't want to say chill, but doesn't seem to markedly respond to the intense cold of it. But yeah, as Alec wanders off, she'll look to Arthur. It's really, really good to see you.
Likewise, you're looking splendid.
Thank you. Admittedly, not all my own doing, but trying.
Never wrong with a helping hand.
It's really good to see a familiar face. She's glancing around, kind of seeing who she can pick out, who she recognizes, who she doesn't. Most of her attention is staying on Arthur, but he'll see her glancing around, obviously kind of trying to get her footing.
Out of the corner of her eye, you do see a familiar person with a cane in her hand, kind of holding, kind of standing there, leaning on the cane, chatting to a man you have met before at the crime scene.
Oh, that's right.
The two just seem to be chatting. They seem, polite and stuff. They just seem to be chatting to each other. For Arthur, let me see who else would be here apart from Sexy Garnet. Yes. Arthur, you recognize her almost immediately. Alice too, actually, if Alice was bothered. The both of you recognize her. she just seems to be chatting to a group of people. She was chatting with the caned woman and the man, kind of blonde man with gloves, and the two of them were chatting briefly. But she just seems to be interacting with people. She actually stops Alec and chats to him for a bit as well. Alec kind of jumps a bit. He's like, "Whoa!" You know what I mean, when he sees her as well, but like chats for a bit. They seem to be having a laugh essentially.
Okay, that's 3 so far. I worry it'd be less.
I'd be surprised if Mother's performance, if Caroline's performance didn't bring out the crowds.
Oh, I didn't doubt that it would. It's just I've only managed to meet so many people, more than fleetingly. So I didn't really expect to see many people I knew at all.
Hope you're not feeling too uncomfortable around all of this.
No, I'm all right. It's just, do you mind if I hang close to you so you can tell me if I'm doing something incredibly stupid?
Tell you if you're doing something incredibly stupid, or let it play out and enjoy the laughs. This is difficult. This is difficult.
What if I promise you that if I cry, it'll be ugly crying?
Cross my heart and hope to die. I will lead you.
Grins. Oh, but no, it's actually really nice, more than it's daunting. I mean, it's still daunting, won't lie, but
Well, think of it like this. 50% is dress, 50% is how you feel, how you present yourself.
oh, here's hoping I don't sully my good record on how I present myself.
You got 50% of it down. Fake it till you make it.
That she like, points a finger very briefly like that is exactly the plan. So,
Well, you probably shouldn't be crammed here in the corner.
Yeah, probably not. Anyone that you think I should meet? I mean, you probably know more about these connections than I do. Good impressions and whatnot.
Yeah, he looks over. Ophelia, is she talking to somebody? Is she like occupied, or is she just mingling?
Ophelia was chatting to Alex. She seems to be just after, mingling essentially. There is also Arthur. You notice a man that is just as handsome as Garnet.
Yeah.
Wait.
Sitting around, leaning down, probably leaning against one of the rafters. He is just as handsome as Garnet is. Except he's smoking even smoking a cigarette is like he just leans in chatting to one of the girls in the cages with this little wolfish grin on his face. But yeah, Arthur, he is. Whew, do you know what I mean?
Not somebody Arthur's seen before, obviously.
You've spotted him in Elysium, yes, near the Gangrel table. But my God, you know what I mean? You're like, even up close, he's like, damn. Do you know what I mean?
Are we both spotting him?
I'm gonna say yes. Oz can seem to if Arthur's like just suddenly stopped and blanked.
Yeah.
I mean, she's kind of following his gaze because honestly, at this point, she's kind of using him as a barometer. So when he looks and pauses even for a second, she kind of glances and the eyebrows kind of prop up. If I remember right, he had a good sense of humor. Kind of shrugging.
I think you know something about these connections I don't.
I wouldn't say all that, but I know that when a bunch of people looked mad, he had himself a hell of a laugh.
Arthur, one thing you do notice is that Ophelia is keeping her distance when she spots him. He just smirks and does this little wave at her, and she just seems to just make it even push further into the crowd.
Ophelia is a pretty ruthless bitch, from what Arthur remembers. That is either a good sign or a very, very bad sign.
But she doesn't look afraid. She just looks almost like she scrunches up her face in this like disgusted look, and then he just like blows a kiss at her, and she just seems to storm off into the crowd.
See what I say? Sense of humor.
Meat or potatoes?
What?
Meat or potatoes? Let's go for meat. And
Blink.
begins leading his Alice towards this very, very handsome man who totally deserves to win an Oscar.
You walk over, and again, he's just leaning against one of the things, chatting to one of the cage girls who's momentarily stopped her dancing because, let's face it, this guy is, A+ model standard. He'll spot you two, and he'll just slide the girl in, something, and he like reaches away and he'll look over, sees you coming, and the puff of smoke goes up, and he just raises an eyebrow as he props his feet up on one of the chairs. Well. Who do I have coming at me?
And Arthur takes the initiative to reach out a cordial hand.
My, mister. He just like slides up again, almost like a cat. Just comes up right in front of you. Like not like invading your space like Garnet does, but just very casual as he extends his hand and shakes it. Nice cool grip.
Arthur Court. Nice to meet you. I believe I've seen you around before.
Call me Arno.
Very well, Arno. And this lovely lady is Alice, and sort of moves towards the side.
Yep, she will offer the hand and even supply the last name immediately following the first. Brigham.
My lady, you'll adopt this. Like, I mean, he does it perfectly. Like one hand behind one leg behind each other, and just bows, kissing your hand. Very theatrically, like almost mockingly theatrically.
It gets him a smile.
That is a wonderful dress you're wearing.
Thank you.
Grins. And the both of you notice there's something feral in those eyes. It's, for both of you, it's daunting and alluring, but it's so feral looking. It's the glee.
So, a fan of the arts, Arno?
Oh, well. I heard that the lady of the house was throwing a party, and, well, it wouldn't be me if I didn't, licks his lips almost hungrily. Well, how could I say no to a beautiful lady like Caroline Reed, now could I?
Very few can.
I suspect you know all about that, buddy. Slaps his shoulder.
Sort of like no further comment.
Winks. We winks at Alice when he does it as well.
I mean, she hasn't stopped smiling yet, and it's not the canned, polite smile either. She is enjoying his personality as it's showing. God damn it!
You look around. Everybody's just so intense all the time. I mean, look at him over there. Who point over at Garner, who's just lounged like a king. Like, yes, ladies. You know what I mean?
He gestures. She glances.
He gets it. Why not be a king in paradise? Wink. But then again, I was never much of a king, really. I just like to prowl and just do my thing.
Tell me he makes any kind of motion when he says the word prowl.
He does. He just like traces his little
He
fingers.
does the creep motion.
No,
The creep.
I
he
wouldn't
kind
put it past him to like take a sly little step, be like, Prowl.
no, it's not even that. It's more. When he goes like, I do my own thing and prowl. He kind of just leans back almost like he's appraising the dancing girl with this little, again, feral glee.
Life is to be enjoyed. I don't see being dead having to change that.
Oh, well, now you have the right attitude. All depends, though. You see, are you just telling me that to make me happy, or do you actually believe that, Mr. Slides Up Court?
Oh man. Smile getting toothier. He's fine.
Ass's office as well. I don't make
Or
a
you-
habit of lying on the first date.
Or are you just too pretty for me to fool myself otherwise?
They say flattery gets you anywhere.
Oh, flatter gets you everywhere, depending on the skirt you're trying to pull down.
There is a strangled noise as she tries not to laugh. The hand is up over her mouth like, I didn't do nothing.
Well, if you want in my skirt, I usually go for dinner and drinks beforehand.
Oh, you look like the type, yes. Controlled, measured, a little bit of wine here, a little bit of compliments there, a little bit of, touchy-feely under the table. You look like the type, yes.
I just like the free meal.
True. Yes, I suspect a hand job on a free meal is always nice.
I'm not complaining so far.
True. You don't look like the type to complain. Wink again.
Not much to complain about.
And you, Scooby-Doo, have been really quiet.
The eyebrows kind of pop up at the end. You! Her hand is still up over her mouth to hide her grin.
So, how is Darling Ivy? She changed her hair yet?
She does seem very fond of the blue.
I prefer the red myself, a bit more of a... What's the word? What's the word, Arthur, I'm looking for?
She sort of looks,
There's a brief eye narrow. Primal?
No, please. Nouveau riche. There you go. Nouveau riche.
Oh.
It's that cherry red shoes. It's just so infectious looking. He even does the
I've
head
seen
like the head dart. You know what I mean? Like a bird. Like.
Can't say I've seen it.
Tell her from me. The red was fabulous last time I saw it. Please, if you don't, claps his hand over his heart and just collapses onto the chair. Well, that's my game ruined.
I'll put in a word for you.
I'll just tell her, says Arno misses the red. She'll know what you mean.
I'm sure she will. She always seems to.
That's why she's a harpy and you ain't yet. Winks.
Give me time.
Oh, slides back up again, almost like it begins to like sway his legs from side to side, watching you. Time.
We've got plenty to spare.
Oh, everybody says that. Don't be boring.
Grinning.
Tosses a cigarette pack up in the air and catches it. Don't be boring. Time is relative because you can have all the time in the world and then make no progress. All depends on how slides in and winks and slaps Arthur on the back of the head. Playfully. Hungry you are to get it.
I look like the kind of person that wastes time.
Well,
Still grinning.
slides up and gives her a sniff like, If anything, you look like the person who's trying to waste all the time just to make sure she fits in right.
That's so.
Well, if that dress is anything to wear by, I believe that was Caroline's dress to last Elysium.
There's just that absolutely not at all, but perfectly innocent shrug.
Are you going to try hide that?
Oh no, she's I mean, he's already called it. There is no feigning that. So it's just like, it's the blatant, I don't know what you're talking about. She knows exactly what the fuck you're talking about.
Is wearing anything new from Last Elysium? I roll a memory check if he's wearing what he wore in Elysium.
He did, yeah. From what you see, he's just wearing the exact same type of suit jacket, suit pants, suit shirt, like always buttoned open. It's kind of a longer suit jacket as well.
Yeah.
Seems to be from what you can guess, maybe it's his mode of dress. Getting pressed, cleaned, everything looks nice.
Well, she's not the only one who wants to look their best.
I mean, pats his arm around Alice very softly, like, ooh, as he's playing with your skin. I mean,
just keeps an eye on him as he's doing it.
We can't all have the nice things in life, and if dear old Miss Brigham over here likes to get her spoonful from charming the old Toreador's Playboy, who am I to judge? Winks.
It's a good book. It's a good book to take notes from.
Well, I'm assuming, Arthur, she had you wrapped around her little finger by the looks of things. Playfully winks at Alice again.
I have an eye for style.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just that it says he has an eye for style.
She looked briefly as though she was tempted to say something. She swallowed it back down as he continued on and poked at Arthur.
Arthur, you're so defensive. Have I pushed a nerve, darling? Oh, do you say darling, or is that your other one?
Does he have some experience with us then?
Oh, I know your family very, very well. Good friends. Particularly your sire. She's quite an entertaining lady.
She is indeed.
Mm.
Darling.
Oh, I see. That's all I need to know. Grins back at Alice. Now,
Alice is watching this take place. She's practically, you can almost see her taking internal notes.
he clicks his fingers. Like, again, it almost seems to swagger to his own beat. Slinks up right beside Alice and almost leans on her shoulder, folding his arms. Now, Arthur, would you get me a drink? After all, a drink, yes. Something entertaining, something spicy. After all, you and your brothers have been quite civil in their hospitality lately. So I was wondering, would you do me that little courtesy? Since we're friends and all.
No problem at all, darling. And Alice, what would you like to drink?
For the sake of argument, are there in fact drinks or are there just people walking around?
There is a healthy mix of two. You get the impression if you want to feed, you do so. You go to one of the back rooms.
Yeah, not happening, but it's more that she's trying to decide whether it's even safe. And she'll probably gesture. I imagine it's one of those situations where they've got little essentially mini bars set up, and each little mini bar, like, they're making a particular drink and just making an abundance of it.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll kind of gesture haphazardly to you know what, just because she wants to see what'll happen, off to not the closest of the bartenders that's just, churning out drinks, but maybe the next down. One that'll take a little bit of a walk to get to and back. And yeah, just kind of gestures over that way. Looks interesting. Why not?
from the... Is it like a wall, what is like the cagey area where he's been leaning towards? Your drink's coming up.
Thank you, Arthur.
He winks and leaves.
So,
Immediate shift of glance back to Arno,
smirking.
not keeping her eyes off him for more than a second.
He's just smirking at that as watching Arthur walks away. So delicate those pants are. You'd swear he'd almost double tie them to make sure they stayed upright.
There's a mild shrug in response. Really? I hadn't paid much attention, not generally my type.
Ooh, looks over. I see. I suppose you prefer the Russian variety then.
And you know what? It's coming open knowledge, if nothing else, the second they hit that doorway. It does seem to suit me.
True, maybe the hammer and sickle always does apparently get the ladies. It's probably something to do with the Iron Curtain or something. I don't fucking know. But, as he lights a cigarette and takes a drag.
But as if she's hanging on his every word. Of course. Again, this is blatantly playful. She is not trying to like sucker him in.
Oh, but Katie.
Oh God, what are you doing?
I mean, you want to play? He's going to play.
Oh God damn it. Do we get to roll willpower against these things? Oh,
You can
no.
try with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes.
Oh no. Why the tens? Oh, that's more than I have dice. Does rolling willpower like cancel successes? Like lessen the effect at all? If you get
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
good.
roll then to try to take some of the.
He has 8 successes so far.
Oh God. Oh boy. Strip 1. Still too many.
So, when you start to playfully hang on his every word, Arno turns, puffing the cigarette, inhaling it through his nostrils, and it comes out of his nostrils again, almost like a dragon. As he kind of swathers through the smoke and leans right up. Depends on what you like, really. After all about the game and the hunt and the thrill and the things you seek. Because I get the impression, Miss Brigham, that you like the thrill and the chase, not just to settle all for the ice-cold stillness of something that makes you boring. Gives that such a feral little smile. His eyes glint.
I mean, it even resting at 7 successes instead of 8. I feel like the response is pretty blatant. He has her undivided attention. There's a certain, like... It's not a feral glint like he's got, but... Maybe it's the phrasing, maybe it's the tone. She's excited. She is intrigued. She is now, in fact, hanging on his every word instead of playing at it.
But the question you got to ask yourself is, as he claps his hands and two little wafts, he puffs the smoke out again. It almost like assaults your senses. Suddenly he's like right beside you looking out at the crowd. He smells of whiskey, cologne, and old style tobacco. As he leans in, popping your head on one of your exposed shoulder bones, you know, your warm skin, as his skin is warm as well. As he leans forward, you see the feral glint in his eyes. All depends on what level of spoon you want to dip in your wine and dip in your cream. All depends on what you're willing to do when the music's over and everyone's looking at you to get that little bit. Am I close?
Admittedly, there was probably a startled blink at the clap, and again, she's actually hanging on every word until he, gets as far as to be like, "Am I close?" And she kind of blinks a few times. You have a very compelling way of putting things.
Claps his hands again, spins almost like he's in his own little world of dancing. That's a yes. Now, when I was young, long ago when I was just an itsy-bitsy little boy chasing my world and chasing my dreams, Alice, you know the thing that made me what I am today? Smoke puffs out and again hits your senses.
Sensory feedback. What's that?
You come right up and those blue eyes are so feral. You'd swear you have just met someone who literally could just drain you dry and leave you high and dry and enjoy every second of it, and you wouldn't even realize.
But he's so goddamn interesting. He's so goddamn interesting. She's meeting the eyes. She's not flinching. She's interested, not scared.
Howled at the moon. And made sure everybody heard the howl as deep as night. And that, he takes almost like slow, excited steps towards you as people look over at this handsome man almost like dancing around you almost. It's intriguing. Even Garnet, you see out of the corner of your eye, has this intrigued little smirk on his face. Few people have glanced, but they've just leaned forward and almost just playfully puff more smoke into your face. Because when you howl at the moon long enough, well, who knows what you're going to get back.
Maybe you know better than most.
Who knows really what I can say? After all, maybe you should try it. Maybe you should, instead of trying to find something to replace that cold iceness, howl at the moon and see what howls back. After all, if you're anything of the person I know you are, ooh, that howl gonna be big. He just seems to just puff a long waft of smoke as he just seems to just, next thing you know, Alice, is you're like, whoa. Arthur comes back and Arno's gone. And you see him over at one of the other aisles chatting, literally swaggering up to Garnet almost as if like two predators are about to engage in a dance at each other.
There is some blinking. And she was about to say something, but he just, once he's going, and she just doesn't find that moment to get a word in edgewise. And suddenly there's Arthur. And hey, look, a drink. And she's
Arthur has the most confused, face.
She proceeds to look at Arthur and resolve, that just happened.
He just sort of leans the drink over to her, just like,
She takes it and she sips out of it. Does not seem to unsettle her stomach or her taste buds at all. They'll probably even catch her side glancing, not directly looking at that interaction, but keeping the Garnet and Arno tango in her peripheral because she kind of wants to see how that exactly pans out. It may not be blatant to like the casual observer, but I mean, Arthur's standing right there in front of her. He'll probably catch her at it.
Never lacks for excitement in this city.
No, it does not. It certainly does not.
Other takes a sort of a second look around. If Mother Alec or anybody else has appeared.
Alec has finally appeared. He seems to be just walking along. Goes to chat to the woman with the cane and the other suited gentleman. You don't see Mother yet, but you can see what the side wing where Alicus came out of. You assume she's in there. You in fact just see the glimpse of red sparkling hair.
Alice, would you mind terribly if I left for a quick moment?
Katie went to the bathroom, so I'm assuming you just say yes. She'll just say yes for the sake of brevity.
I guess that's all. Arthur makes his way to the back door where Alec just entered from.
You make your way to the back door. Alec doesn't notice you. You head towards the back curtain and pull the curtain, and inside you just see this lounging on one of the couches.
Has she spotted me?
Nope, she just seems to be lounging, sniffing one of the right roses.
Well, Arthur is still holding the very particular. You could order drinks, correct?
Yeah.
Arthur is still holding the Bloody Mary, which he ordered for Arno. And he. Should I roll stealth here? Next stealth.
Are you trying to go unnoticed?
He's trying to, surprise her.
Go roll stealth.
It's a dex stealth, right?
Yes.
Plus celerity.
Yes.
So it's difficulty 7 because I do not have that. It's 2 successes.
You slip by. She seems to be just preoccupied anyway.
It's one of her. I'm guessing she's sort of lounge over, so I'm guessing one of her hands is just sort of lounging over the couch. And it's in that hand he will very gently drop the drink in. Not actually drop it. It's like, eh.
She gives a kind of ooh, we'll look up.
He's got this almost boyish smile on his face.
Arthur.
Wanted to come by and say break a leg.
She just gives this big startled, surprise, but yet, happy to see you smile. I hear you're entertaining the masses, according to Alec.
When am I never?
You've been keeping an eye on him, haven't you?
When I can.
Good. I want you boys to get along.
It's not Alec that I'm worried about.
Oh? Well, come sit near me. She'll pull her dress over. It's long, flowing, stunning dress. For Arthur, even Garnet may be gorgeous. Even Arno is, but this is just... Appearance 5 is nearly beyond human.
It's like no hesitation. There's he's on the sofa.
She'll lean over. Were you worried about them, my darling?
Oh. I'm sure there's a time and place, but not. You don't need to be preoccupied with that.
Snuck off to see me in the back room. I suspect you do that with a lot of the people you read poetry to.
He leans behind the couch. If I only could, there's only be one person that I'd ever read poetry to.
Really? Do you mean that?
Yes.
With all your heart.
With all I can give.
That smile it's like you've just touched something from heaven, essentially. It's just this bright smile. I suppose I'm the luckiest girl in the world, then.
And that means I'm the luckiest boy.
I suppose. But don't be
There's
telling
nothing
Heidi
to be worried about.
Don't be keeping secrets from me, honey. I never keep secrets from you.
I won't. I believe Garnet wanted to talk to you as well later on.
Oh, of course he does. He does worry so much. Your dear brother does like to. Of course. Yeah. I'm assuming you two are getting on okay?
He's invested, it would seem.
Invested.
It's always nice to have somebody looking after you.
Good. He kept his promise then.
He's sort of transfixed, or he's staring and smiling for the most part, almost in this seventh heaven.
And this Alice girl came with your other brother.
What about her?
Child of a harpy.
She is.
She is. Pretty, little thing.
Useful to have friends.
It is. Although she seems quite taken with your brother.
I don't blame her.
Alec is my human, my soul. Makes sense why they all fall for him. Let's just hope this one can actually see him for a change. And not the idea of him.
I'll look out for him.
I know you will. But do keep an eye. Tell me everything she does.
Okay.
That's my boy. Now, I need to go and make sure that everything's perfect. So why don't you get out there and have some fun?
Of course.
You don't need me to hold your hand, do you?
I'll be fine.
Good.
And as he sort of turns to leave towards the door, he just again over his shoulder. Break a leg.
You know that was considered... You should smile. They used to say that very early on in England. They used to shout it from the rafters. The Globe was always such a funny thing like that.
Maybe one night they'll do it again.
Go and have fun. I'll be out soon.
And he leaves.
She just smile and you just hear her humming lightly. She just seems to be picking herself up, getting ready, essentially.
And he goes for Alice hunting. If she has been left in the same place or been whisked away by...
Alice, you were kind of pottering around as Arthur went off to go see Caroline. So you're kind of left on your own for a bit. You can see Alec chatting to these two people here. He's looking over at you, and he almost seems like, oh, there she is, but I'm still stuck in this conversation type thing.
I mean, all things considered, at this point she's been abandoned, and she and her drink can escort themselves over to him. Be at least that obliging. Out of curiosity, how has that interaction between Snake and Wolf gone?
Give me a perception empathy. Perception empathy.
Oh. Oh, please let this be a good roll. Mm, 110 and a 6.
Okay. It has been so far a level playing field. Both have struck jabs into each other here, struck jabs into there. They almost seem to be almost like assessing each other, trying to pick apart delicate pieces. As if I stray too far, stray too here. They seem to be... Neither side has gotten the upper hand in this social engagement, but it's definitely a intense one. But to your appearances, all smiles and loveliness.
I
But,
bet.
oh boy. But nobody's gained ground over each other. It seems to be for the moment a very even keelter.
Alas, it hasn't gotten truly interesting yet. And Alex over there. So yeah, she'll go ahead and saunter that way. With a polite smile to him, hopefully to keep anyone from interceding before she gets there. She clearly has a bearing.
Yeah, and nobody interferes with you that much. You kind of slide over, and Alec is, you probably, I'm assuming you slide your arm in besides Alec or something.
Yeah, unless he is especially stiff. Yeah, she'll just
No, he just
slip up to his side and tuck the arm back under his.
You do feel him relax once he feels you kind of slide up beside him, and you turn to see the two people, and you definitely recognize Maggie, and you recognize this man as Maggie will just give you a smile, and this man kind of inclines his head and will say, Alec, I did not realize you had brought a +1. Alec would just grin. She is, well, you know how it is, Raphael. If I'd said no, she would looks over at Alice. Well, she would not talk to me for weeks.
And she is, of course, returned either greeting in about the same level, really. A polite nod to Raphael because she doesn't know him especially well, and Maggie gets more of an open smile. But again, at the teasing, she kind of flicks a look up at him like, how dare. It's mellow, it's kind of teasing. She's still kind of got the drink chilling in her other hand, half empty.
Raphael extends his gloved hand. It's good to see you again.
Oh, and she'll have to untwine her arm, if only so that she can pass off the drink, free her hand. Actually, is she the one I made left-handed? I think she is. So she'll free the hand so that she can offer it out. It's good to see you again.
Under better circumstances, I think.
Much better. Much more preferable, at least.
Well, at least it's more classic, I would say.
It's certainly more open.
Yes. Well, everyone does enjoy the mock secrecy, so we get to retreat and have a bit of fun every now and again. You'll smile very playfully, and Maggie just rolls her eyes. Again, she just seems to be chatting to Alec for a bit. was looking for you, but I could not remember your name. Unfortunately, Miss Brigham.
Apologies for not leaving more of a sterling first impression.
It was nothing to do with the first impression. You know how our lives are with our busyness and our need to ever expand.
Oh yeah, she throws him again. It's very, very chill, kind of, just a touch playful smile as she said it. It is what it is, and considering your work compared to mine, I imagine you go through even more names than I do. So
you would be
fair.
surprised. But I was wondering, you seemed to be interested in the bodies that were. No, this is hardly the place, but since we didn't get a chance to talk to each other.
Oh no, of course it doesn't bother me. It's not exactly. She kind of glances around to see if there's anyone within like easy listening distance, because this is not technically the most polite form of conversation. But
I mean, it's Alec and Maggie are the obvious ones, but they seem to be just chatting away about something. She seems to be scolding him about something.
No, sounds about right. No, I mean, if it's just the two of them, she's not going to be especially fussed.
Well, it was more that. Was wondering if you would like to bring a few on an investigation. There seems to be more turning up, and with the incident occurring in the alleyway close to the pub known as the Nassau, well, I was looking for a more interested party to assist in the investigations. To branch out, as it were. I believe it's a healthy cooperation among each of us.
Be more than happy to.
Wonderful. Claps handing her, wonderful, wonderful. Perhaps if you have a preference for people you work with, whatever you need, but if you could meet me close to that alleyway where the body was found, I'll leave my contact details with you, of course, and all that.
Of course.
But we perhaps should share our findings. I think it would be beneficial since you are obviously investigating the incident.
I have picked up a thing or two here or there.
Well, I would love to, as the kids say, smash heads and work together.
As would I.
Just gives it very easy. He seems really easygoing, just gives a smile. Really laid back.
The more eyes, the more minds. The quicker we come to a conclusion, right?
True. We will get to the bottom of this eventually. I do believe my good friend Alex said that you have another one of your clan who saw something.
He did.
Perhaps if you could bring him along.
Absolutely.
And he'd look over and see Arthur, and perhaps you could get the young Mr. Court to finally pitch in and maybe give a hand.
There's a very small smirk. I imagine he can be coaxed.
Wonderful. Simply wonderful. He just gives a smile, and Maggie will turn. It's almost like the conversation just turned as Raphael starts talking to Alec about something. They seem to be like, oh yes, that type of thing. Maggie will just turn, plant 2 kisses on your cheek, and just give you a smile and like press you over. That dress is lovely.
It does seem to be all the rage.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm impressed.
I'm not gonna lie, it's not mine. It's
I know.
Maggie, so she'll
lean
shrugs.
Oh, I know. I was just impressed that you actually managed to get it.
I had only so much choice in the matter, in fact.
And I did hear that you caused a bit of a ruckus.
Ruckus, you say? Me?
Leans against the cane. Come on. A hand gesture. Almost like you're being pulled away by mom for a talk.
Oh boy. Yep. Time to walk off with Mother Hen. It's potentially the safest company in the building.
So you see the woman with the cane and Alice seems to be just separating to one of the side boyers essentially.
Well, they seem to be off on their own. Where's Alec at the moment?
Chatting to the other blonde man who seems to be wearing gloves, and the two of them just seem to be chatting, quite idly.
Very well. Let's talk to him.
So you slither over, plank right down in front of them, rise back up, extend your hand. I'm out of court. Hello. But Alec will see Arthur coming and just smirk. Raphael, this is my brother. Ah, yes. The pretty poet that I've heard.
I'm flattered. Arthur Court. Pleasure to meet you.
Dr. Raphael Lorenzo. Shakes his hand with the gloved hand.
Was fight urge to make Dr. Theodore Delarue's joke? Yep, yeah, that hurt, but I managed. I certainly hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Oh, no. We're just chatting about some few things and engaging in, well, getting in some civilized conversation, really.
Well, that is a pastime that I am fond of.
Well, it's good to see a man that is working his way, as you just see Alec just like standing there like, I hate everything about this. But I do hear, Mr. Court, that you are quite the charmer when it comes to getting what you need.
Well, I see no reason to be rude.
Well, perhaps I set a challenge for you then, if you're up for the gentlemanly challenge.
Sort of eyeballs Alec and eyeballs
Alex
Doctor.
has a smirk shaking his head.
You're on, Doctor.
Wonderful. Now, myself and Alec have had this challenge for a while with each other. Someone is trying to get Ophelia to interact and to talk. Someone who would love for her services, Miss Pendergast, Ophelia Pendergast. I think you know her.
I've had the pleasure.
She's currently investigating a matter down with bodies and stuff. You know how the crime spree is.
Unfortunately, yes.
Perhaps you could unearth the conundrum for myself and Mr. Michelson. Wonder how the bloody hell does she get around so easily?
And that would be the challenge.
Alex said you were top draw for this. Alex looks at Raphael going, why are you dragging me into this? Neck type stare.
Very well.
Wonderful. I knew you were a man I could count on.
Well, that's left to be seen.
Yes. As we transfer over to Maggie, who has now turned to Alice. So, how's the jaw?
Well, mine's fine. Didn't even bust my lip.
Uh-huh.
She does kind of, it's kind of a thoughtless gesture, but reaches up and like touches that little spot above her lip, like fucking bitch, essentially. Unspoken.
Rose and Alec have a long history.
That's all well and good. But leading with a punch. Shrugs.
Rose, again, is like Samson and Alec. They are wild.
Huh?
After all, she's one of yours, so you gotta play nice.
She's not the only one, and I didn't start it.
Well, if I was you, just lean in. Make sure your mother knew.
There's a skeptical brow quirk.
Ivy never likes some. Ivy always gets defensive when someone hurts something belong to her, like Niall.
She kind of sets back a bit thoughtfully.
I mean, if that's what I would do, you
Is
know,
that technically extreme?
not really. It's more making sure that Ivy's aware of what's happening.
Well, I do tell Ivy everything.
There you go, sweetheart. She pats you on the hand. Just let it slide and let the idea plant in there. That's how you do it. And it won't hurt Alec either. Because remember, you don't want to hurt him, do you?
Of course not.
Well, there you go then.
Yeah, her expression actually loosens up almost immediately. Like, how could you say that?
It's like, well, there you go. You just take care of the problem before there is one.
Would be nice. Think I got the heavier punch last time, but no guarantees starts next time, huh?
Well, that's why you plan ahead.
Would have helped if I'd had any idea she was going to be there.
Well, the boys are the boys. They don't think ahead. That's what we're here for.
You're not wrong.
So why don't you take that brain of yours and play ahead? Just some advice.
She nods. Oh, I will. Admit she kind of got me ruffled, but no. Not how I prefer to settle things.
Well, then don't let her do it again. Get even. Don't have to hurt her. Just play your game.
All right.
Just nods. And for God's sake, don't tell Alec what you're doing.
He'd have a proper connection, wouldn't he?
I'm not saying he would. I'm not saying he wouldn't. Just, if you want to get this done nice and quiet, I wouldn't involve Alec.
Fair enough. He already knows. I mean, I imagine that's how you found out.
Oh, I didn't find out from Alec.
Who'd you find out from? A little kind of playful squint.
Grins. That would be telling.
Oh, come on. We're still at kiddie pool level. I get hints, right?
That would be telling. And no, you're not a kiddie pool level.
The grin.
You gotta start thinking not like you're at on the table taking scraps. It's time to take the initiative, Alice.
Well, when you're right, you're right.
Mm-hmm. And I'm always right. She started hobbling back.
She nods agreement and just kind of walks alongside her, keeping, same pace.
And so, as you rejoin, the lights go dim and trumpets begin to play. As Alice and Arthur, you see again this woman come out dressed in long flowing dresses. She looks simply just too beautiful to comprehend for both of you. It's, as the music starts and everything just seems to kick off, it's like Mother of God. You know what I mean? Now, this is where things get interesting. And that's one roll, and then she will do another one. So, for everyone in the room, particularly Arthur, the singing is like nothing you've ever heard before. And it's energetic and wild. People even start to just the people in the cages go wild. The party goes wild. It begins to really, like, you know, big band style, really just kick up. Like, you see some of even the other vampires, they're taking off people into other rooms. Like, Alice, you feel it. You feel that this presence, this aura of just. She is almost like this goddess in the room, commanding you to let loose, to embrace it all, embrace the chaos, embrace the pleasure, embrace humanity. For Arthur, you are. I'm not going to even say you're entranced. You are just consumed with just obsessional, because unfortunately Arthur got total success on you. So you are just absolutely just, you want to just lose your inhibitions, do the things you've only dreamed about in your darkest desires. Alice, the effect is there for you as well. It's not as strong as Arthur's, but you do feel it. This need just to push beyond the limits of your own human mind, just to, at a chance, just to feel alive.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said that, you know, she probably initially returned to Alex's side and slipped the arm politely back in his. Though I imagine as the singing's going on, she's shifted a little closer. Like, the bumping hip to hip has gotten, in fact, much closer. And rather than, you know, draping her arm politely in his, has, like, ended up craning it up so that she's reaching around, kind of, you know, grasping almost needily at the top of his arm while she's watching, while she's listening.
And one more roll.
Completely lost himself.
This is the big one. So, what's y'all's willpower?
What?
Willpower.
Oh no. Perm?
4 with weak will, so you know.
6.
Uh-huh. Oh dear. So, she begins to sing this. As the voice is silk, smooth, but as you guys are the closest to the stage, essentially, where you guys are seated. Like, Raphael is staring, stunned. Maggie is. Arthur and Alice, this Caroline almost seems a being of pure light. Pure. She's like, in terms of mechanics, she is now appearance 10 to you two. She's almost too beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she starts singing, and both of you just want to cut loose. Both of you just want to feel it. Both of you just want to escape. Even just a second, because that heartbeat is just so strong.
Well then? How I'm gonna hope and pray that Alec is either, I don't even know whether it's good for him to be affected or less affected. I imagine he's worse off than she is.
Alec.
But yeah.
Alec's eyes just glaze over as she's just staring, mesmerized. You know what I mean?
I imagine that it's not even a good bit of the way into the song before she's kind of grasped at his jacket and started to try to do as many other people have done and just pull him off. Albeit they, I mean, their version of fun is a little more violent than most, sort of, but yeah, she's trying to do the same thing that most other people are doing.
So you see, like, Arno, like, he doesn't seem as intense as you guys are. He just seems to almost like it's like he was ready for this whole thing. Just pull a woman off to the side. And you even catch out the corner of your eye, Alice. He's feeding. Same with Garnet. For Arthur, you're just transfixed. as Caroline looks right into your eyes and is just singing deeply. Other people just begin to indulge, and for Alec and Alice, you push through doors, slam through walls, tables go flying. All over, this heavenly voice just seems to carry as things fly, things break, things clash and boom. The heart just seems to go ba-bum, 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 ba-bum.
Oh God, this is a theater. There are skywalks and high balconies, and we're gonna be full of bad ideas. Okay, that's how this is going down. That's
As you know, both of you lean over to the closest pointing edge, pushing yourself that closer and closer, all to this sweet melody. As everyone in here is just almost transfixed. And then you all, when the song ends, are filed out very gently. Even you, Arthur. Alec and Alice. Alec just picks up, like Alex just takes Alice by the hand, and you are driving off to somewhere now that you know you're going to push a thrill. Arthur, you're left almost standing there. You're not sure how long you're left there. And eventually you snap back into reality. As you see Garnet opening the limousine door, waiting for you to get in.
Coming out of the house and just slides into the limousine. He's not even. He's back in reality, but he hasn't had time to sit with me.
I can barely hear you.
Oh.
Yeah, you're.
Is it better now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No, like he's on autopilot mode right now. He slides into that limo. He's not processed anything. The last thing he can remember is those eyes, the voice, the heartbeat.
As both of you are driven away, one of the people who stood transfixed, watching Caroline, is brought to Caroline's wing. Caroline looks them up and down as the door closes, and blood and screams hit all over the wall. As some need to consume in order to feel alive, and some always need to consume. As Alice, after you settle down, a wild night I've spent with Alec, you sit down on the bed, and that aura of dread just hits you as you just hear the heart beginning to slow just as you're falling asleep. And that is where we'll end our scene.